Hi, I'm Jocelyn Horg, and this is my A1 presentation. The artificial intelligence model that I looked at was ChatGPT, which I see as a do-it-all tool in the future of school writing, which I'll explain further later. So foremost, what is ChatGPT? It is an artificial intelligence model that is trained to mimic human writing and language. And not only is it able to extract information such as history facts, textbook knowledge, and complex definitions, but it is also able to develop creative writing and storytelling elements. And this engine is just a really great example of how technology has evolved to respond to human interaction. My first impression of ChatGPT was that I liked the clean interface and how easy it was to use. So on the right side, it's the text box, and it also provides instructions on how to use. And on the left side is the menu. And overall, this interface was just really user-friendly, especially for people like me who are a little intimidated by the idea of machine learning and artificial intelligence, since I'm not too familiar with it. So I decided to give ChatGPT some prompts, and the first ones I gave were pretty straightforward, or things that you would think of using it for. So I asked it what event led to the First World War, as well as to explain Newton's third law. And then both were provided responses that were really straightforward and easy to understand. And I also liked how it gave an example for Newton's third law, so it made it easier to understand the concept. And then next, I asked ChatGPT to take on a creative writing prompt, and I provided some general directions, a plot, and also some elements I wanted. And the story that generated was really nice to read, and also I liked how it incorporated little creative elements and like descriptive elements so that it could be more entertaining and more story-like. Next, I want to see specifically how ChatGPT could explain concepts for people. Say you are somebody who is trying to learn about something you're not too familiar with. So this could be possibly an opportunity for you to better use ChatGPT to explain it in a way that makes sense to you. So I asked it to explain Newton's third law using a psychology analogy, and it started by generating a pretty good response, and I liked how it provided a scenario-based situation. However, at the last paragraph, it's completely stopped working, or it's completely started lagging, and that was just something that I observed. And finally, I wanted to see if ChatGPT could take on a more human-based prompt. I wanted to see if it could tap into human senses, so I asked it to describe the color blue to a blind person. And while it did just generate something that made a lot of sense and was well written, there were some parts that just did not adjust the prompt, such as describing the water as so clear and the sky above as a deep shade of blue. And that are obviously elements that a blind person cannot see. So making note of these things, I started by asking myself the question, what are some of the flaws I noticed? So foremost, it had difficulties with abstract topics. So here's the video of it lagging when I asked it to explain Newton's third law using psychology analogy. And that was just something interesting because it shows that it is taking a while to generate the response to that. And the second one is that it failed to answer parts of prompts, specifically those that are a little more complicated. So I underlined the instances where it completely disregarded the prompt of describing the color blue to a blind person. And that just shows that there still needs to be some work in terms of more complicated and abstract topics. Next, I asked myself, what are some ways students can utilize ChatGPT? Foremost, I thought of using it as an assistance for essay and short answer questions on homeworks, and it provides a baseline for students to build on their answers and elaborate on it. Next, it could be used as a SparkNotes or a simple.wikipedia-like tool. So as seen before, I used it to ask what Newton's third law was, and it gave a really cohesive answer and also an example, which made it easier to understand. And then moving into that, it could be a personalized search experience. So obviously you can type in definitions that you could type into a search bar, but also if you're looking for something very specific that you want to learn more about, ChatGPT could be an opportunity for you to learn it in a cohesive and easy to understand manner. Finally, how can ChatGPT be used in an ethical way? So two issues I thought of were misinformation and inappropriate use. To address misinformation, double checking sources and also doing research prior to using the artificial intelligence model are very important, as you don't want to take what is given to you as the full accurate picture, and you should really do your research to make sure that the information it generated is accurate. And then next is inappropriate use. So it could be used in place of self-generated ideas or impersonating other people's writing. So I think requiring a disclaimer for using the engine, as well as developing something to counteract ChatGPT or really sense out when somebody uses it, are very important. So those are the questions I worked with, and that was my experience with ChatGPT, which was overall pretty positive. Thank you.